Hello everyone, my name is Neon Tiger Red of Team Chemical Toast, and today I'm going to read a fic entitled Stupid, Stupid Feelings. At the moment, Peacock hated everything. Wind blew over the roof of Lab 8, rustling the bell-shaped skirt of her maroon dress as she nursed a cigar. Fall had come to New Meridian, and the temperature had settled to a pleasant warmth graced by a cool breeze. The sun lazily set on the horizon, coloring the surrounding sky a fiery orange, like the conflict that burned inside of her. Or some mushy crap like that. She was never good at poetry. Peacock was rarely alone, always hanging around with her crew, the other cyborgs, or whatever freaks she had met while fighting Last Skullgirl. But sometimes she left the hustle and bustle of her hectic life, giving her cartoony mob a little nod to let them know that she needed some privacy. Even Avery abandoned his perch atop her head to give her a little space. After all, he knew better than anybody that the boss, despite her upbeat attitude, had been through more in 13 years than most people experience in their whole lives. This particular predicament was a new one, however, unrelated to her wartime trauma or mafia abuse. Comparatively, it seemed so trivial. She should have been able to deal with this easily, considering what other experiences she could just brush off. But no, this had to be the one thing that dug under her skin. The one stupid thing that drove her out of her mind. She didn't even think it was possible for her to become even more crazy, but she had managed it. All it took was the thought of a single person. She took a drag. At least she had the comfort that no one could judge her. Besides Ilium offering a supportive shoulder, and Andy figuring it out on his own, not a single person knew about the cyborg's turmoil. Good thing too, because if people teased her, she would inevitably explode with rage and take half the city down with her. She was a powder keg set to blow, anxiously anticipating the tiniest spark that would set her off. Peacock? Speak of the devil. The shadowed form of a pale young opera singer edged onto the rooftop cautiously. I apologize if I'm intruding. Nah, it's fine. Are you sure? I can leave if I'm imposing on your time. Don't worry about it, I was getting lonely anyway. Idiot. Squiggly strolled up to the edge of the roof beside Peacock, keeping at a close but respectable distance. Peacock switched her cigar to her right hand, holding it away from her peer. Hope you don't mind the smoke. I don't. Father used to smoke cigars with a much more pungent odor than yours. Truly one of his worst habits, Leviathan added drowsily, loosely over his host's shoulders. Peacock wasn't sure if that was an offhand comment or a jab at her own addiction, but regardless she let it slide. For once, she wasn't in the mood to fight. The whole thing seemed to go over Squiggly's head as she gazed off into the distance. It really is a gorgeous sight, isn't it? I haven't seen a sunset since I woke up from my slumber. I bet it's felt like ages, Peacock remarked, taking another drag. After all, you've been gone a long time. True, but I'm not conscious of my surroundings when the skull heart isn't active. The voice grew quiet. Mother's birthday party seems like it was only a few days ago. Must be rough feeling like your family got off just yesterday. Crap, why did you say it like that? It's alright, Squiggly murmured, but the sadness in her eyes was plain to see. No, it ain't, Peacock sighed, stuffing out her cigar on the rooftop railing. Ilium's always saying I ain't got a lick of tact. I'm always running my mouth off when I probably shouldn't be. Just hearing Peacock giving a genuine apology was enough to make Squiggly smile again. Don't feel so bad. It's something I have to live with. Perhaps I can change my circumstances in the future, but right now I have to accept it. I know the feeling, Peacock mumbled. For a while, the two were silent. Leviathan dozed off as Squiggly continued to be transfixed by the array of warm colors gradually shifting across the sky. Peacock focused her eyes ahead to calm her nerves, but the pressure burning inside of her was unbearable. She wished she didn't have to feel like this, that she could just talk casually like she could with anyone else. Forcing back so many conflicting emotions was killing her more than any Medici thug ever could. So why not just tell her? The sudden clear thought threw Peacock for a loop. Up until that point, she would have laughed at the idea. Confessing on a breezy rooftop alone while the sun set? Had some cherry blossoms and it would sound like a scene from one of Leddock's corny animes. It wasn't like Peacock to be so sappy. But then again, it wasn't like Peacock to feel this way. Maybe unusual times called for unusual methods. Squiggly gasped softly as Peacock's gloved hand covered hers. What the hell, it was worth a shot. The singer looked over at her companion curiously. Peacock? What is it? Cyborg felt her courage waver, but there was no turning back now. Listen, Squiggly, she began hesitantly. I don't really know how to say this, and I've never been good at sentimental junk. She could do this. Her comrades always believed in her abilities as a fighter. She was royally recognized as a national hero. She had killed her best friend for the good of the world. Every day she overcame trauma, disabilities, and the whole damn mafia. She could do this. What I'm trying to say, Squiggly, is... She took a deep breath and turned to face her. But the moment Argus's eyes met those of the girl who had stolen her heart, all confidence drained away. She realized quite suddenly that this was a bad idea, and a million reasons why flashed through her head. She was 13. What did she know about relationships? Would she even want to be in a relationship? She hated commitment. And she couldn't imagine how Leviathan would fit into the equation. And what about when they got older? Would Squiggly even get older? What if she said no? Peacock felt like she was about to die. She had started something she realized she didn't want to finish. And now she was standing there, trapped by the build-up to her big confession. She had to think of a way out of this, or else she would eventually suffocate from the rush she was holding. The thought hit her like a falling piano. There was something she could say instead, and it was something that Squiggly definitely deserved to hear. I'm glad I have you as a friend. Squiggly seemed a bit taken aback by this admission. Peacock took a second to recover from her anxiety that continued, this time looking forward towards the horizon. Not a lot of people actually like me. I mean, I love the boys in the Lab 8 crew as the only family I ever had. But they don't really have a choice, you know? The gang's gotta take order from their boss, and the other cyborgs are stuck with me. I don't got many real friends. So, it's nice to know that there's someone who hangs out with me because they like hanging out with me. So, she was dry of any more affectionate praise. Yeah. Thanks. She returned her gaze nervously to Squiggly, who, to her surprise, was smiling wide, eyes misty with tears. She took her friend's hand in both of hers. Thank you, Peacock. I know that must have been very difficult to say. As you said, you're not a sentimental person, but you have no idea how much it means to me that I've made a difference in someone's life. I'm glad that you treasure our friendship as much as I do. Peacock found herself blushing, not with infernal emotion just running to burn her alive, but with actual happiness. Yeah, well, don't go crying a river over it. Squiggly laughed, released Peacock's hand, and wiped her eyes with her sleeve. Sorry, I was a little dramatic there, but I meant everything I said, Peacock. Patricia. Peacock kicked Charlie at the ground. If you want, you can call me Patricia. But only when we're alone or around the Lab 8 guys. I don't want people making cracks about it. And only you can do it, not the snake. Dragon, the parasite corrected, opening one eye and lifting lightly from its shoulders. A snake doesn't have the capability to burn you alive if you cross it. However, for once his quip was accompanied by an approving smile. You know what I mean. If that's so, Soothie said, then you may call me Sienna if you'd like. Sienna? That's real pretty. She cursed herself for letting that slip out, but abandoned it when Squiggly giggled. Damn, her laugh was adorable. Peacock almost thought to say something else when the door of the roof opened and Andy stuck his head out. Sorry to interrupt your private time, boss, but we just got a hit on that Medici ringleader. If we leave now, we can catch him before midnight. Peacock reached into her hat and produced a comically oversized gun. Duty calls. Squiggly bowed politely. Good luck. Godspeed, Leviathan added with a grin. Peacock tipped her hat and sprinted towards the door. Patricia? She skidded to a stop. Yeah? Make them hurt. Squiggly softly touched her parasite's head. For us. The crazy girl smirked deviously, baring her sharp teeth. Consider it done. So where's he going? Peacock asked, lighting out a cigar as they walked. Andy cracked his knuckles. Down to the River King Casino to do some gambling. but he's coming in from out of town, so we'll be able to head him off before he leaves the highway. Good. Better be steady at the wheel this time. Too much swerving throws off my aim. Silence. So, Patricia, huh? Yeah, what of it? Does that mean you... I bailed at the last second. I ended up telling her she was a real good friend. Oh. Come to think of it, I can't stand the idea of being in a relationship with someone. I don't think it'd work out. Sorry, boss. Nah, don't worry about it. I feel a hell of a lot better. Honestly, it was good just to say something to her. I realize I don't mind things staying the way they are between us, as long as she knows I, care and stuff. She shrugged. Kinda wish I hadn't bailed though. Makes me feel like a coward. I think it was brave just to try. He sighed dejectedly. I can't even imagine doing that. Ah, come on, Andy. You'll get a dame someday. You're a real catch. Boss, I'm a walking anvil. Alright, so you're a heavy catch. But I'd seen that circus broad lift plenty of heavier things with that hat of hers. They both kind of laughed at that. Plus, if that's your problem, I hear she's not superficial when it comes to getting to know people. Likes a good personality. Yeah. Again, silence. Well, there's no time for moping, she announced. Let's end the night having a good time. Bring the car around, Andy. I'll get the boys. Right. On it, boss. Peacock strode towards the rest of her gang, spinning the chambers of her revolver. This one's for you, Sienna. Okay, so that was Stupid Feelings. If you liked this reading, be sure to let us know. And if you'd like to read this fic yourself, I'll have a link to it in the description below. So yeah, until next time, this is Neon Tiger Bread, signing out.